So a call comes into the search and rescue unit that an older woman has fainted on the trail and she needs some help getting down off the trail and back down into the main area. So search and rescue pack up their gear and off they go onto the trail. They meet up with the husband who runs to them. He's freaking out. He tells search and rescue that he was just a little ways off the path. He was looking at something and he hears his wife screaming behind him. So he runs back to her and there she is passed out on the trail. So search and rescue personnel get her on a backboard and they hike her back down the mountain, back down to the welcome center, and the woman comes to and starts screaming again. They get her calmed down and they ask her what happened. And she says she was waiting for her husband and she started hearing this noise off in the woods and it sounded like a cat. But there was something wrong about it. And she couldn't quite put her finger on it. So she went a little ahead to try to get a little closer to maybe try and make out what this thing was. And as she did that, she said the sound got a little closer to her. And as it got closer, she got a little bit more uneasy because she figured out why it didn't sound right. It wasn't a cat. It was a man saying meow, meow, meow over and over again. Meow, meow. Except it wasn't a man, she said, because she's never heard a voice sound all buzzy like that. She actually thought maybe it was her hearing aid, so she adjusted her hearing aid, and that didn't help. It was still this buzzy noise. She said it was just awful. But she couldn't see him. She could hear him getting closer, but she couldn't see him. And the closer that he got, the more scared that she got, until the last thing that she can remember is a figure coming out of the woods. And that's when she fainted. Now, one search and rescue guy in particular is a little perplexed about why there would be a guy out in the woods yelling meow, meow, meow at people. So he asks his superior if he can go ahead and head back up and check it out. And his superior says fine. And the guy grabs a radio and heads back up the trail to where they had just picked up the woman. When he gets up there, he doesn't see anything. So he decides to keep going. He goes about another mile up the trail. Still nothing. Can't see anything. Can't hear anything. So on the way back, he decides to go off trail a little bit. Maybe try to figure out where she could have seen a figure coming out of the trees. But it's getting pretty close to sunset at this point, and he has no desire to be out in the woods alone at night. So he just kind of writes it off and makes a mental note to come back and check tomorrow. So as he's coming back, he hears something in the distance. He calls out to anybody in the area to immediately identify themselves, and nothing answers. And the sound didn't come any closer or get any louder, but it sounded just like a man saying meow, meow, meow in this really odd monotone. And the park ranger says that as comical as it sounds, it almost sounded like the character from South Park, Electrolarynx Ned.
Hi, Ned.
So he heads off trail to try to locate where the sound is coming from. And he never gets any closer. And he says it actually kind of sounds like it's coming from everywhere. But eventually, the sound just kind of fades away, and he finds himself back at the Welcome Center. He never got any more reports like that. And even though he went back to check out that area, he never heard that sound again.